Masters of the Obvious intro.
Hello and welcome to the Masters of the Obvious. I am Isaac Rodriguez, your host and creator of the Double Eagle Process. This is the place where we talk about things that are obvious to us, but not necessarily obvious to everyone else. Like, for example, I've worked for a General Electric Capital Corporation that is a non-bank finance company that charged more than the banking industry because their cost of money was higher. But we had the value of their brand to be able to build some of that value and do other things to create additional value. Later on in the banking industry, I didn't know at one time, back in 2008, if my bank was going to exist from one day to the next. I had to figure out, what am I going to do? What does a banker do? Well, I learned those skills, and now I have to charge for them when before I just use it to differentiate myself. But how much? Now, my guest today, Rob Fishman, co-owner of Sandler Training, incredible man, a conductor, a professional musician, a pianist, Sandler Training, handling all of the things. You can find out more about his bio. He'll tell you where at the end, but tell us more about your theory on this.
Sure. Let's put it into a couple of buckets, Isaac. Bucket number one is going to be what we call unpaid consulting. And the other bucket will be money concept. So let's go back to the first around unpaid consulting. As we know, Rick Page's book says hope is not a strategy, but very often we tend to give things away thinking that if we dazzle people with how much information we know, our non-supportive belief is that, well, if we give that away, they're going to buy from us. And a lot of times we know that's not the case. So that ties into how sometimes we might tend to negotiate with ourselves. Think about the last time you might have been in that position of doing business with somebody and you had a number in mind. And did you negotiate with your own number? And that comes back, if we go back to childhood for a second, of money concept. Growing up in a home where money was scarce or money was plentiful, or in some cases, if it was impolite to talk about money. Those tie in directly to some cases where people tend to feel that they're not worth it as much, and they tend to negotiate with themselves, thus leading to a lot of cases of just giving away a lot of information.
Giving it away, unpaid consulting. Rob Fishman, thank you so much. We want to learn more about you, what you do, and this concept and so many other things. Where do we find you?
Thanks, Isaac. So first of all, LinkedIn, best place to find me, Rob Fishman. And the other place would be on our website at www.legend.sandler.com.
Again, thank you so much. This has been Masters of the Obvious. Here's the outro.
Masters of the Obvious outro.